We'd like to welcome each and every individual to Entrepreneurial Awakening Movement. Hi, this is Mark Borisman, President of Synergy Solutions, and I am on with some amazing individuals. And today's first lesson on unleashing human potential is it's really the history and the power of the Entrepreneurial Awakening Movement. And so there's 4 key pieces that we'll be going through in the course, and it's awakening, ownership, work, and care. And so let's go ahead and dive right in as thinking like we've never thought before. All right, so that I would hit that, or somebody would hit that. So one of the other people, I would prefer it be somebody other than me. That would be my preference. But people are not used to moving this quickly, and so you got to be ready. Like it's Navy SEALs. And so it's got to hit. There was a little hiccup in the beginning that I did, but I just flew through it. Like it's not going to be take 1 or take 2, take 3, take 4. It's like, boom, we're rolling. So then in this, we went over this last week, and we switched the solution. So the problem is America, the world becoming an entitled, self-absorbed society? The solution is building a worldwide network of entrepreneurial-minded individuals to help everyone in the world see the societal benefits of thinking like an entrepreneur. And so Keith or Nicole or anyone, if you guys want to take any part of this, I'm fine with somebody else taking it. It's not a big deal to me. The less I can talk, the better. But other people are going to have to step up, and they're going to have to nail it. And so it can't be like they have to be prepared. They have to, like if you make mistakes like I do all the time, it's fine. It's life. You just better be ready to fly through it. It's not like, oh, we're going to edit this out or do this or that. That's not how it's going to work. What's the difference between a business owner and an entrepreneur? Business owner runs a company. Entrepreneur, creator of new ideas which change the world. And then this here was inserted. So again, most people when they're developing a course, they don't realize little tweaks. So this was inserted here. It's one of my favorite videos. Keith and I were talking, and he went ahead and shared, for those that are joining us on the rebroadcast, this is the backstage pass, which I think is more cool than the actual presentation, because then you see, whoa, if I ever wanted to develop a course, a 7-week course, this is how to do it. And there's like a million more times things that you can learn from the backstage than you do the actual course. Anyways, so people, it's the funniest thing to me. People are, they always want to know what the group's about. It's the coolest thing. It's weird to me. They want a syllabus. So what is the Entrepreneurial Awakening Movement? It's a worldwide network of entrepreneurial-minded individuals to help everyone in the world to see the societal benefits to think like an entrepreneur. Now, this is just what I came up with. You guys, if you guys cared about this, if you want to gain benefit from this, well, then you might come up with something 100 times better. But the chances are people probably won't. I don't know why they don't, but they don't. They don't really engage. They don't really pour themselves in. Oh, I know why, because they're busy and important. And so they don't really dive in. They want to gain a lot of the benefit or all the benefit from participating, but they don't want to put any time in behind the scenes, which, again, is up to people. But if you don't put in, the more you put in, the more you're going to get back as long as you're intentional. So Nicole and Alan, did you both internalize yesterday's BWWM call?
I'll let you go first, Nicole.
I think the first level of internalization, yes. I'm leveling it.
Okay, and Alan?
Well, probably not.
Right? Good. I like that. That just makes it so much easier. So if you guys had internalized it, you would both do something now. Or you'd ask me, Mark, are we going to do this and this? And I'm going, yes, of course we're going to do that. Like, that was amazing yesterday. Like, of course we're going to do it. But normally what we are is we are selfish and self-absorbed, self-centered, and so when we learn something, this is really good for me, but we don't want to share it. We don't think it applies to anything what it is, and so it's not so good. And so does anyone know, do either of you know what I would go ahead and, what I'm going to do right now based on last night's?
No, I don't know, Mark.
Okay. Nicole?
I have no idea.
Okay. It's so simple. Like, you're both going to be like, duh, like I knew that. No, you didn't know it because you just had an opportunity to show your powers and how amazing you all are from the application of really listening deeply. This is one of the reasons that Tom likes me so much, is because I internalize what he says and applies it to like every area of life. So this is what the vision, here's a hint, this is what the vision is for the group. Does that help, Nicole and Alan?
Yeah, so now we'll come up with the core values of it, what we're going to live by.
Oh, I didn't hear that yesterday. That's interesting. That's internalization from, I think, a few weeks ago, which is good. It's really good. But last night there was something that I'd never heard Tom say in 15 years. I'm like, that is so cool. I'm like, that makes a lot more sense.
Was it when he told the story of?
No, I've heard that story tons of times.
Okay.
All right, so I'm just going to do it. So, Nicole, do you understand the vision for this group?
Yes.
Do you see how this vision connects back into your life vision, your personal, professional, Tanglewoods vision?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, good. Alan, do you understand the vision for this group?
I think so.
Okay. Do you see how this connects back into your personal life vision and Tanglewoods vision?
Yes.
Excellent. Elise, do you understand the vision for this group?
Yeah, I believe so.
And do you see how it fits into yours?
Mhm.
Emily, how about you?
I think so.
Keith, how about you?
Yeah, I believe so.
Murray, how about you?
Not really, because I'm just starting in with this conversation, so I'm not exactly sure
I knew I shouldn't have asked you. I apologize. I should have just skipped over you. I will do that in the future.
That's okay. Thank
Tom,
you.
did I do okay on this, or should have I done something different?
No, I think you're all right.
Okay. So, Tom, I have a question for you. Do you think that everyone who said, yes, I think so, do you think that they're telling the truth?
No.
Do you think they're telling the truth?
Yes.
So, is what you're saying they're delusional then?
No, I think that they're trying to understand what it is that you're trying to put out there. So they feel, this is my feeling, they feel that you want them to say yes, and so they do.
Is that what I want?
No, you want honesty.
Do you think they know that I'm that kind of a person, or not so much?
If they've ever been on more than a couple, 3 calls with you, they should know that.
But yet they don't do, like, I just want the truth, and so they're delusional about me?
Well, I think it's kind of a human trait that when you're in a group environment and the presenter is asking a question and you're not quite sure what it is that they're trying to get to, that and the presenter presents the question from, do you understand? And they go, yeah, I think so. Which, if they truly understood it, would be, yes, got it.
Right. That's what I was thinking. Is there anybody on the call that is so clear on their life vision they would actually give up their life for their life vision? Is there anybody on the call that thinks that their life vision is so powerful they would literally sacrifice their very life for it?
You probably would.
I think I would. I think I have. I think I have, but maybe I haven't. I mean, I've never. It was interesting when Jonathan and I were going over to Africa when he was 13, and I said, "Hey, buddy," we were in the driveway, and so 17 years ago. So we're in the driveway, and I said, "Hey, we're going into some places that could be a little bit dicey. I don't know what we're going to be in store for. Not sure. But you could see your dad beheaded." So again, imagine when you were 13 years old and your dad telling you this. So I said, I just want you to understand, if you see your dad beheaded, you can mourn for him for, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes. It's fine. But there is no bitterness to people who did it. There's no anger for people who did it. It doesn't change your life vision one bit. So if you see me dead, it's okay. It's totally okay. If you see me murdered, it's okay. Like, it's okay, buddy. At 13 years old. Anyways, so I don't think until somebody discovers something that they would give their life for, I don't think they've really discovered truly at a deep level what they've been put on this planet to do. And so I don't think that they can understand what Tom said yesterday. I mean, they can in a little way, like, I want to make more money. Okay. Do you see how being part of this you can make more money? Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I want to work less hours. Okay. Well, do you see how being part of it can work less hours? Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, it'll do both of those things. Do you see how this is going to give you less stress or be able to handle the stress better? Do you see how it's going to give you a more balanced life? Like, what is it that you really want? And so if you really want something, want it, and again, that's going to be the 5 things that are going to be incorporated into this. One of the 7 lessons, if you really, really want something, like I believe I'm willing to give my life for what I want. So when you experience life, living and death, when you experience it at that level, then you feel like heaven. You're in heaven. I think I do. I'm like, that is so cool to be alive, like every moment of every day. Anyways, so here's the movement. Keith, what are you thinking right now?
Well, I definitely know that I'm pretty strong with my life vision, but I'm not sure that I would give up my life for it. But
right, like that's radical. Like, really? Yeah. And what's the standard beyond that? What's even harder than giving your own life?
Mm-hmm.
And what's even harder than that? Like, this is what's weird. Like, people, I just wonder, what do people use their brains for? Like, So there's something harder, far harder, infinitely harder than giving your own life. What is it? Wow. Okay. It's giving your children's life. Like anybody that has a child, most anybody that has a child, except maybe over in Africa, I'm not sure they do, or the Amish is an interesting story there, but I won't get into that one. But anyways, most people that have children, that's easy. It's reflex. Would you give your life for your child? In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. You do that. Like it's not even, it's reflex. What's even harder than giving your child life for something you live for? Would be even harder than my children would be my grandchildren. Like that would be, I can't even imagine. Anyways, so then, the Entrepreneurial Awakening movement, so somebody probably needs, last week I had a hard time getting through this. I'm not even going to try this week. And so somebody probably ought to take this, unless you guys want to go ahead and see me cry. Then it'd be fine. Remember, Tom, in Wisconsin with Easter seals, when you teared up when you're talking about the kids?
Yes.
Was that like the coolest thing? And then we went out to dinner that night, and then the Easter seals guy said, "Hey, Tom, can you go ahead and do that again?" Oh, man, you were not a happy camper. You contained yourself well, but I'm looking at this like an out-of-body experience and wondering, like, Tom really cares. Like in the 15 years I've known him, he's teared up 4 times. And I remember each one of them. Like this is not something he does, frequently. Although it seems like as he's gotten a little bit older, he's doing it a little bit more. But I'm pretty sure that it would be very hard for me, right?
Yep.
Because you're seeing the significance of it. You see this country. You can see the future, and you're like, my kids, my grandkids, they're not gonna go ahead and live in the country I lived in. They're not going to have the opportunities that I lived in. And it's like you don't even know what to do. Well, this is what this is going to do. And so here's this, went through that last time. Just those little tweaks have been here. And then the history of, the history and power of quantum thinking, a little bit of tweak there. And then we went through this last week, so I won't go through it here. So it goes through the 4 things: awakening, ownership, work, and care. And then what would you like to get from the course? So what is it you want? And and so you have one lesson to catch somebody. You might have 10 minutes to catch somebody. You don't have much time to grab them, hook them, especially on a free course. Like if they're paying, $1,000 or $500 for the course, you have 2 or 3 lessons to catch them. But if it's a free course like this one is, you have 10 minutes to catch them. And then like when I was flying to Atlanta every month, they said sell the next segment. That 10 minutes leads to the next 20 minutes. That leads to the next, 40 minutes. And so here's the history of quantum thinking. So we go into leverage. This will be cool for those who went through the leverage course and going through it. Keith is going through it right now. So this is really cool. So Keith, you can think of what's one thing on leverage and how it changed your life.
Okay.
And Tom and I are like, man, I'm telling you, like my son dying, leverage, I am so glad I went through this course. Because if I hadn't, man, I'd be leveraging things improperly now, I'm pretty sure. Here's some of the, history behind it. Like, oh my gracious, somebody actually thought about it. Like Leonardo da Vinci, like this stuff is cool stuff. Like this isn't something somebody just whipped together. And then here's leverage, and then a slight enhancement. Like I don't know if we'll tell the story because it's too long. but this is when I asked Tom, I'm frustrated with people. Anyways, there's a whole story behind how Present Solutions got changed to internalization. Like, it's so cool, which then led to Engineered Clarity. And so, that's the second generation model. And then that went ahead and led to the entire internalization, model. So, how deep can you internalize things? If you're not willing to give your life up for something, when you look at our founding fathers, like, they were willing to give up their lives. When you look at our military, they're willing to give up their lives to get spit on. The police officers, they're willing to put their lives at risk and give up their lives for what? Like, anyways, hopefully I won't go off. Any of you guys, can go ahead and bring me back around. Okay, so that's that's going there. And then the internalization model and going into that. And then here's the third generation model, which is a whole series of other models, which is really cool. And then the fourth generation is adding the DNA for people, business, and life. And then the quantum thinking, the fifth generation, is awakening, ownership, and care. So somehow we got to cover all of that in 30 minutes in the quantum thinking world. And then we're going to encourage people to jump into EC2 because you go through this course, and if you're not part of a community that gets it, that's going to help you with it, you're going to feel great. You're going to love the course. It's going to blow your mind. You're going to be so excited, and then you won't follow through. And that then puts you into, once you join EC2, then to join the movement. And so Emily, this is your group, and Keith and Desiree, they've jumped, they moved to the left, and so they're the two that are the top. And so trying to get Desiree on here, I think, is going to be important. Get Esther, Ski, and Ron, and Mark Wittig, and then you create the ripple going out. And then, we'd encourage people to go through Leverage the Course, and then the Psychology of People too. Both of those are recommended, and those are through Life Masteries Institute. And then here is Lesson 2. It's not finished yet, but you guys, it's backstage passes, so you kind of see how it's going to. So awakening is seeing like we've never seen before. And then, this is, again, going back, this is our vision, and probably should put something in here where we say, do you see how this connects back into your benefit? What do you want to benefit from? So get clear on your benefit. And then, that, and then it's going into, you got to internalize this. Like, if you don't internalize what's being taught, if you don't internalize it from the quantum thinking world, well, then you're not going to be awakened. Like, you just won't. And then awakening, so here's kind of a definition of it. And then here's the awakening model and the 10 dimensions of it. 10 different dimensions in awakening. And then going back to Einstein, you can never solve a problem on a level it was created. And so there's still more stuff that's being developed. We're looking at, the integrating the personality masteries naturally into this, and then going into, the different things, the different personalities, and then it goes into, a bunch of stuff there, and then there'll be a bunch of other stuff. Tom, I don't know how much time you have.
I've got a little bit of time.
Alan, anything you have before you need to take off?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
And what is it that you want to accomplish from going through the course, Alan?
So I want this course to help me achieve my life vision.
Okay. And how do you think it's going to do that?
By pulling me deeper each step of the way. You can walk horizontally, or you can walk vertically and horizontally.
I love that. Anybody else have to run now?
No, I do.
Nicole, anything else you have before you take off?
No, but I'm really intrigued by this newer model when we go through this. I haven't seen this one before.
Oh, my gracious. This stuff will blow your mind. It gets into mental health and the major mental health issues and how they seem to originate based on personalities, where your strength of your personality actually creates mental health issues. It's the coolest thing on the planet. What I'd love for some of you guys to say is like this should go into the medical community. Like this should be required. Every medical doctor, before they become an MD, they should have to be required to go through this course. Anybody else have to take off?
I do.
Anything you have before you take off?
No.
Okay. Thank you, ladies. Anybody else have to take off?
I do, Mark.
Anything you have before you need to take off?
No, I agree with Alan. I have to figure out what my life vision's got to be.
Cool.
Thank you.
Cool. Yep.